Jesus freak here. When I was 14, I bet the only thing that was really on my mind, I mean, I exaggerate, was Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat 2 had been big in the arcades and come home. And I wanted to have a copy for myself. And that was the one thing I wanted for Christmas. For pragmatic reasons, I asked for it as a Game Boy and a copy of Mortal Kombat 2. Because of all the additions of Mortal Kombat 2, getting a Game Boy and the Game Boy version was cheapest. Turns out it was a decent choice because the Game Boy version Mortal Kombat 2, for its limitations, is actually pretty good. So, the first game system that I personally owned was a Game Boy. It was the original model, what we call the brick nowadays, to separate it from other Game Boys. Now, over the years, I only managed to get 3 games for it back then, when I was a kid. One was Mortal Kombat 2. Another was Star Wars. And then Mortal Kombat 3, which wasn't as good on the Game Boy as 2. Now, around 2000, I lost all of that in the basement flood. A few years ago, when a friend of mine was in Japan, he said, retro game systems and games really cheap over here in Japan right now. He want me to get you anything. And he got me this Game Boy Pocket, which is basically just a smaller version of the original Game Boy, and takes 2 AAAs instead of 4 AA's. As you can see by the JPN and the serial on the bottom left, this is a Japanese edition. And yes, it works. Now, I managed to amass a new collection of Game Boy games, which includes 2 of the 3 games I had as a kid. Not every game I've played on the Game Boy or would want to get on a Game Boy. You see, there's only, 9 games here. Mortal Kombat 2. Game Boy version of Mortal Kombat 2 was missing about a third of the game, but it felt like Mortal Kombat 2. They had to make a few changes to fit it on the Game Boy, but, it lost all the speech. The animation was choppier, but it felt the same. You even had Dan Forden popping out of the corner of the screen every now and then. And I have actually beaten the game as every character. I've seen both the hidden characters. Noob Saibot's not available for the obvious reason that it requires you to, I believe, win 50 games in a row in 2-player mode. And it's not really an option with the Game Boy. It does support 2-player mode. You gotta have 2 Game Boys. Star Wars. course, this is the same game as the NES version. Never really got too far on this one. Bit of a tricky game. We'd probably call Euro hard, because a lot of European games are mindlessly difficult. Tetris. This is the same game, same exact ROM you would get if you had the normal US version. But this is the Japanese edition. Nothing's different. It's exactly the same. The same is true with this Super Mario Land, which is a Japanese edition. Beaten this a few times. Not on my Game Boy, I beat it on a friend's Game Boy. NBA Jam Tournament Edition, bought this at a tag sale. I think it was right outside Save-A-Lot, not too far from here. Dr. Mario. An attempt to do something like Tetris that wasn't Tetris. Kind of like Atari wound up doing with Clax, or Sega wound up doing with Columns. All three of them thought they had the rights to Tetris. It's identical as far as I can tell to the NES version. Might have a smaller, well, Miss Pac-Man. Really have to say much about Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man's Miss Pac-Man. You lose a little bit without the color, though. Frogger. Used to really love playing that on the Apple IIe, 2C. Empire Strikes Back. Haven't played this one. Might look into getting more Game Boy games in the future, because the Game Boy is kind of special. There's a few I'm particularly on the lookout for. Jesus Freak Out.